Welcome to the Lean Lifestyle Podcast, where we talk all the things about losing fat and building muscle in your 40s and beyond. This is your host, Courtney Witten, certified personal trainer and health coach. And today we have Jen Rulon joining us today. Jen is a life and fitness coach, and I'm happy to have her here on our podcast. Welcome, Jen.
Thanks, Courtney. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to dive into a conversation with you today.
Thank you. Me too. I think, like we talked about, we have very similar niches, and there's plenty of women over 40 going through the same stuff that we are going through.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you found me. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Yes.
excited to dive in today. It's going to be juicy, y'all. I love it.
Juicy.
Yes, it is. So, hey, Jen, I want to start off today's episode. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, why you do what you do, and why you became a coach.
Yeah. I mean, I could start off and give you the BS answer of being like, oh, I'm a 15-time Ironman triathlete. I'm an author, speaker. I can drop all my accolades. But in reality, like, I'm a woman, just like your followers and your guest star, right? I'm a woman who is 53 years old, who went through a whole bunch of major life changes, such as, perimenopausal, menopausal, went through a divorce, lost a parent, had miscarriages. But, what kept my brain together was truly the fitness side of my life as an Ironman triathlete. And then as the nutrition piece, and then that mindset of the Ironman triathlete. But for many years in my business, I've been doing online coaching since 2001. So before it was cool, jenrulon.com started in 2013. But I was coaching triathletes because I was in the triathlon space. I was a triathlon coach. I did 15 Ironmans, obviously, but then I helped a lot of other athletes get to their finish lines as well. But as I retired from the sport, I realized I was changing, right? I was going through those changes as a woman. I was perimenopausal when I was training for the Ironman World Championship in Hawaii. Like, it was insane. Like, hot flashes at night, and I'm like, oh, it's because of my training, right? But as I was transitioning and as I retired from the sport of triathlon, I realized that, dang, there are women that truly need my help going through that same shift of not chasing those finish lines anymore. Because once we chase those finish lines in our second half, that means we're dead. We're underground, right?
Right.
Right. So my goal is really to help those women that are going in their 40s and their 50s that are going through a major change in their lives. And how I get them there is through strength training, through nutrition, and mindset.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Thank you.
That's exactly why I do what I do too. Why I like working with the 40 plus population is like, even back in the day, like back in my late 20s when I first started training, most of my clients were 40s and 50s and struggling with hormones and struggling with perimenopause and menopause. So yeah, I think that's really interesting how we both kind of like went into that same direction.
We did. And I'll tell you this, there's a lot more women than there are triathletes. So
Okay, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's really cool, like how your business has really evolved. You said since like 2013, you've been training people. That's when you started?
Honestly, 2001 is when I
Oh,
started
wow.
2001 is when I started coaching triathletes virtually. I mean, but that wasn't my full-time job, right? But then in 2013, I actually just did a post about this the other day, is that I got my master's degree in kinesiology, and I was applying for all these jobs. I was applying, I was either overqualified, or the position wasn't right for me, or I had to wait on when something was available. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't need to do that. I can start my own online business. I've been doing it for already 10 years. Why not just, let's tackle it. So then I started my Rulon.com, and I've been online before it was cool, before 2020.
Absolutely.
So
I know. I was
yeah.
thinking the same thing because I actually started online training back in like 2017 and no one was doing
hmm
it back then.
hmm
So
hmm
that is awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy. I mean, I live in Costa Rica, but I have clients everywhere. I have them in Costa Rica. I have them
Uh-huh.
in the States, Canada, Mexico. I've had athletes in Australia, Sweden, and it's all the same process. I get on a weekly call with them. I contact them. I give them their workouts. We dig deep on the nutrition, the fitness, whatever the mindset, and we just roll with it, and it works very well, especially for people that are very determined and dedicated. Like they need that accountability, and that's where we come in.
Absolutely. I do want to just touch on that real quick because I think a lot of people have the belief that you can't really get good results with online coaching and training. I actually think that it is so accessible, is generally like more affordable than like in-person
For
training
sure.
sometimes. Um, I think a lot of people have this misbelief that unless someone is like actually there, that it's just not going to be effective. What's your
hmm
thoughts on that? Because I do have like concerns whenever people reach out to me about online coaching and training. Like, is this going to be enough, basically? So I'd be curious what your thoughts are on online training and coaching and like, yeah, the results that you get.
Do you want my raw honest truth?
Yes,
I think it's a I think it's a effing BS excuse.
I do too.
They don't
I
they don't
absolutely
want
do.
they don't want to change, and they want you to go in and hold your hand and change the
Hmm.
weights and all that stuff. No. You can easily clients easily can go into the gym, especially the app that I have that I just that I use for my clients. Like,
Hmm.
you could go in, I have videos of everything of how to do it. It's not that hard. So I honestly think it's a BS excuse, because in reality, it's all about your determination, your motivation to get to the gym. We have to start training and working with women and building up their confidence to go to the gym. There might be some women that just aren't confident going to the gym. I understand that. So, okay, good. Then we build your confidence up at home. Once we start
Right.
building your confidence up at home on your own, but on like with our app or whatever, without us being in person, then we move you to the gym. But for those first 3-4 months, if you're not comfortable going to the gym, that's okay. We can do stuff at home. So the
Absolutely. I
results,
agree.
yeah, the results that I get from my clients, I mean, the Google reviews say it all. Like,
Yeah.
it's just what we do. We're good at it. Yeah,
Absolutely. And it's just, it's a whole new world doing the whole online
it
thing. I
is.
think for a lot of people, especially people that, you know, a lot of the people that I work with, they're not generally like new to fitness. They've definitely
Right.
have had some experience. So I think that a lot of times people are just, kind of hesitant. But here's the thing, I feel like I'm not actually doing my job properly when, people are just like, wanting me to like hold their hand, and it's like, well, no, like I can like fish for you, but honestly, like teaching you how to fish is really going to serve you the best
Right.
in the long term.
For sure. For sure. But
Hmm.
you are doing your job. You have to remember that.
Yes, absolutely. So I do
Yeah.
in-person training, and that this is exactly why I bring this up, because a lot of my clients are kind of hesitant to transitioning to online.
hmm
So that's definitely something I wanted to bring up because um, it's one of those things. Like, if you really want to take your results to the next level, it's going to take taking responsibility and building these
hmm
skills, working out on your own and doing things like macro counting. All of this stuff is skills. And at the end of the day, you really just have to get your feet wet and just start making it a
Yeah.
habit. And
Yeah.
that's our
And
job. Our job is to
it
help you
is our
guys.
job. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like, I'll give them meal plans for like a month if they need it, but I want them to say, like, maybe they look at the meal plan and be like, you know what, I don't like that Wednesday lunch meal, so I'm going to replace it from Thursday's lunch meal. Like, I don't expect them to go stick, to a
Right.
T, because I want them to learn how to eat on their own. I want them to learn how to make things that works for them. I want them to go to the gym and being like, and I tell my clients, like, hey guys, grab your phone, get on my app and say, hey Jen, can you look at my squat? And I'll be like, yes, let me look at your squat. Put the phone up, do a video, let me look at your squat. I'll give you feedback, and
Yes.
or like I might say to my, if I'm doing like weekly calls with them, right? And then they'll be like, hey, can you help me with a push-up? I'm like, oh my God, well, let me see your form first. So then they put the computer down, they do a push-up. It's like, all right, you're buckling your lower back here. So go to your knees, try to knock out three to five at a time instead of trying to do 10 at a time or something like that. That's just an example. But you could easily do so much via phone these days. It's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. And like the technology, just like you're saying, that's funny because I actually offer that in my membership. Like you get up to
Nice.
a certain amount of like form fixes each week. It's like all you got to
Uh-huh.
do is just record yourself doing a set, right? And I will
Yep.
absolutely give you feedback. So,
Yeah,
but
that's
I also
great.
want to touch back on what you just said about meal plans because I have actually been in that space. A couple of years ago, probably when was this? Back in 2020, 2021. One of the things I did do was meal plans for my clients. And in my experience, I did have a few people that loved it, but at the same time, I just kind of feel like you were saying, it takes out autonomy. It takes out, at the end of the day, people need to kind of figure out on their own, like,
Agreed.
what is going to work best for them as far as nutrition goes.
For sure. 100%. And I think about like the I think I hate to use Weight Watchers, but I think Weight Watchers does a nice job. They don't say, here's your prepackaged food, here you go. Like with Weight Watchers, you have to track it. I think my mom's been on Weight Watchers for
Yeah,
years,
they
right?
do points.
Points,
Is that
right?
what it is? Yeah.
It's points, right? But then it's not like, hey, here's your here's your stack of
Right.
like pre-made stuff. This is what you're going to eat for the next month. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's teaching clients how to read labels, how to figure
Mm-hmm.
out what are my macronutrients, what are carbohydrates, what are fats, what are proteins. And I had a client recently who said, she even admitted, she goes, I'm Latino and I'm fit. She goes, but as I got older, like everything shifted and I just needed to start
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how to eat differently. And so I increased her protein. And she's like, oh my God, I'm like a totally different human right now. Like I increased the protein but I had to teach her that because she's probably so used to a different way of eating. But I'm like, no, we got to raise that protein level for you, especially in her 40s. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad that you touched on that because that is something that I think a lot of women struggle with is getting enough protein.
yes,
For
yes,
sure.
very much
Mhm.
so. Yeah.
I think that's going to be one of the things that will never end for coaches like me and you.
Agreed. 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 Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that we're kind of like on the same page there with like the online training and helping our clients really just kind of find what is going to work best for them. I
For
think
sure.
like having sample meal plans and recipes are great. Like just kind of guiding our clients to, find the foods that work best for them.
Yep. And I tell people, I'm like, y'all, people are like, oh, let me see your meal. Like, what do you eat on I'm like, I am boring as all get out. Like,
I
I
know, me too.
breakfast every single day. Maybe I'll have after a surf session, maybe I'll do like French toast and some eggs and add syrup. I was like,
Yeah, that
okay,
sounds amazing.
that's most of my carbs for the day,
Right?
but you know, but I know like I needed that after surfing, so then I could still go to the gym and work out, right? So it's, like, but yeah, people have to figure it out because they're adults, you know, and
Yeah.
the cool thing about what I've realized with the clients that I've worked with earlier this year, a lot of them were with me for 3 to 6 months, and they're like, I think I got it, Jen. I'm like, yes, that's good. That's the goal. Like, the goal for me is to be like, okay,
Exactly.
I got 5 people done. Excellent. Now, all right, now I need to find 5 more people to start educating them. And I'm like, if I could start getting like 100 a year to 200, and
think about how many people you could help.
Oh my God, it would be amazing.
I know. I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, seriously, one of these days, I don't want to freaking see your face again. Like, I mean that in the nicest way. But I feel like I would have, you know, like, I'd be doing my job correctly if my clients did not feel like they needed me anymore. I mean, I'd be sad, but because I really enjoy my clients, but like, I want my clients to feel like, yes, I've got this.
Yeah, exactly. And I reached out to a few of them. I'm like, hey, if you're not coming back with me, at least give me a review, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's so funny, like, people don't really think about doing that, but most of my clients, when I ask them to do something like that for me, they will.
They're fantastic. No, I agree.
They just need that little push to actually do it.
For sure. Yep. And I was going to say too, like, coaching triathletes, you know, the nice thing is that we have that end goal, right? It's either a race, a 5K, an Ironman, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Coaching women who are trying to lose weight or trying to get fit or trying to build that confidence in the gym, it may take a little time, right? Mm-hmm. But Ironman, to get ready for an Ironman, I ask my clients, give me 1 year. I need 1 year to get you ready, you know? And so when it comes to even women, I'm like, if this is your goal, if your goal is to lose weight, get stronger, build more confidence, I'm like, give me a year.
Ooh, I like that, Jen.
Yeah. I'm like, give me a year. Yeah. I know that seems like taunting. It's like, oh my God, I'm investing in myself. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
For most of your life, I guarantee you did not.
Right. And here's the thing, like, it doesn't just stop at weight loss. You know, you have this whole other world of maintenance. Like, I talk about that all the time. Like, do you know what to do after the weight loss? Do you know what to do after a diet? I think that's really important. And not only that, like, we can still, like, improve our body composition, you know, like
100%.
We can continue to improve. So I think that's really good. And I think this is something we need to kind of touch on, because I struggle sometimes with clients. And this is why a lot of times I go back, like, okay, we need to go back to your why. Because just like you said, you know, whenever you're training for like a triathlon or any other kind of like sporting event like that, you have like an end goal in mind, right? Like, you know, you have like a date, you know exactly when this event is going to be. And I think there is a struggle with women our age because there's not really like an end in sight. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, what can we do in order to keep our clients more engaged throughout this process? Yeah. This is something I've been asking myself a lot lately.
And I think too, like you said, finding those whys, why they do what they want to do are really important. But I also feel that women don't take the time to invest in themselves because of maybe they don't have the money, maybe they don't have the support, maybe they don't have the knowledge to actually get the help. Like, they're afraid to be like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm not confident going in the gym, you know? And so as women, like women coaching women, we're cheering you on. We're going to help you. We're going to, you know, like what's the saying? Like, surround yourself with, if you surround yourself with 5 people,
yes. Yeah. The 5 people that you spend the most time with is like your energy. Yeah.
That's your energy. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So if you have a coach like Courtney or myself, like we're there to cheer you on. We're there to lift
Yes,
you
we're
up.
part of like your social support system for
Exactly.
sure. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of people, like just depending on who they hang out with, people that are
Yes,
like, hey, let's go out to eat, or hey, let's go get some drinks, like our social connections are really like very influential on the choices that we make.
for
So
sure.
And
100%.
that's our job, ladies. Like, we're here to be your support system because we totally understand that. Because I'm like that. I'm very much introverted and I don't have like a lot of friends. I have like a handful of friends. But yeah, that's what we're here for. Absolutely.
For sure. For sure.
hmm
I love that. Yeah. And
And I
and
think, go ahead.
we walk the walk. Oh, sorry. And
No, go ahead.
like for me, people will say, "Well, why you?" I'm like, "Cuz I walk the walk and I talk the talk."
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
like
I
like
can tell
something that
just from looking at your IG.
thank you. Like for me, like I was going through, I'm going through menopause. I went on some
Uh huh.
HRT and I started like I went out on like this is a great example. I went out onto the ocean yesterday on the surfboard. I didn't have my phone, I didn't have anything, and I just started going through like the last year about like the breakdown of my body and all that stuff. It's like, wait a minute. I was doing fine January, February, March, April. Why did I feel like I needed to go on some type of medication? I started breaking out. I started putting a little weight on. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Maybe take yourself off, like take
Yeah.
yourself off the medication and go back to what you know: fitness, nutrition, drinking your water, vitamin D, strength training. Like, go back to what you knew that, like, it wasn't broken. Why are you trying to fix it? So
Right.
my point is
No, go ahead. Yeah.
educate yourself, ladies, on, you know, t- asking Courtney, like, hey, why this or why that? Like, ask us these questions because we want you to learn what is best for your body, so when you do say goodbye to us, you'll know.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're talking about this. Yeah, I want to talk a little more about menopause because I think that
Yeah.
is probably the number one issue that our clients are dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I have a lot of people that are like, "Hey, this is like really causing me to like have a hard time losing weight," and I totally agree with that. But per what you were saying, like we still have to look at lifestyle factors. Like I think you
Yes.
mentioned like vitamin D, getting, consistent exercise in, nutrition changes.
Right.
I'm not even like, I'm just now getting into perimenopause. I'm 43 and
Mm-hmm.
I know the shitstorm's just starting. And I
Yeah.
will say this, like, if I kept up the bad habits I had in my early 20s,
Yeah.
like eating fast food all the time, drinking a lot of
Yeah.
alcohol, and eating a lot of sugar, being physically inactive, like, there's no way. Like, I just would not be where I'm at today if I did not make the changes that I did.
Agreed. Agreed. And I think we talked about this on our pre-interview chat, is like, don't
hmm
use menopause and perimenopausal as as a shitty excuse for a
Yeah,
bad diet and not working out.
right. Right.
So
Like,
like yeah, like don't tell them, okay, you might be dealing with hot flashes and all that stuff. I get that. I understand that. But let's talk about, what are you eating? What are you doing for your fitness? Are
hmm
you doing any type of movement? Are you drinking water? Are you getting out in the sun? Like, or like, are you just trying to get some sun on you? Not sun, but like just that vitamin D,
yeah, just
right?
like
Like,
sunlight. Yeah.
right, sunlight.
Getting some
Yeah,
fresh
like,
air of some capacity every
yes,
day.
yes.
Like,
Or
even if it's just
walking.
like an open window.
Exactly. Or even
Yeah,
like, I know not everybody can walk on a beach, but like, ground yourself. Like, get on a beach, take your shoes off and get in
absolutely.
grass. Even if it's snowing out, like, try to take your shoes off and do like a run down, run back. Like,
Okay,
you'll
you
feel
crazy.
amazing. I know I'm crazy. Yeah. I don't know if I could do that, but you know what I mean? Like, it's so important to really look at the big picture versus the one thing, and that's menopause and perimenopausal.
Yes. And I think it's a misbelief that we have to do everything perfectly. Like I don't think that,
Oh,
you have to eat 100% clean. Like I
sounds
just
like me.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does help, but I also don't think, but I think a lot of people have that misbelief that, I have to eat perfect. I'm going to have to overhaul everything. I'm going to have to work out 6 days a week. And it's like, that's just not true.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
What is it, like the 80/20? Like
Yeah.
if you're doing 80% of the right stuff, and you want to go have some pizza with some friends because you need a good belly laugh, oh my god, that's, to me, is going to be more impactful than having a salad with chicken, you know?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
relaxing with friends and having a couple pieces of pizza, like that could be self care in my book.
Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
I always tell people, if you're counting your macros, put it in your macros.
Yes.
If like, this is what I talk to so many of my clients about. If you know you're going to go and have pizza with some friends on 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 that night or Saturday night, then guess what? All day you're loading up on protein and low carbs, like, and
Hmm.
then you can consume and enjoy that pizza. Maybe you have a glass of wine too, it's okay.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, that's great. And I think that's going to help a lot of women because I think, yeah, this is what I was going to say earlier. I think one issue, obviously we have like stages of change. You probably know about all this. But I think one of the stumbling blocks is women just not believing they can actually do it. Like I see this all the time, they feel like they have to do everything perfectly. And that can actually like perfectionism is not a good trait. I'm trying to recover from perfectionism. Perfectionism is not a good trait. It's actually something that can really be self-sabotaging in so many areas, including your health and fitness.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you all to know, you women that are listening to this episode, that you do not have to do everything perfectly. You can change. Like, I'm a big example of that. I'm someone who has quit smoking. I've quit drinking soda. I have quit fast food. Yeah. And I did this all like a long time ago. This is stuff I
Uh-huh.
did like early on in my journey. I just want you all to know that you can absolutely do it, and I'm sure Jen has done some hard things as well. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure about that.
Yeah. What the quote I remember hearing: "Don't let perfection get in the way of good."
Ooh, I like that one.
I don't know who said that. I heard it on a podcast when I started my business
Ooh.
online, because I was like, "Oh, that post isn't perfect," and I take it down, I put it back up. Oh no, I'm missing that. But yeah, you said doing hard things. I will be 5 years sober on December 7th.
I am so proud of you, and I'm sure you are very proud of
Thank you.
yourself.
I'm
That
so
is
proud of myself.
amazing. And that is
Thank you.
another thing, just to kind of throw that out there, ladies. Alcohol and menopause. I'm very
Ooh,
neutral on the subject. I do drink alcohol,
right.
but I will say that it does affect me. It affects me way more than it used to. It
Yeah.
affects your sleep, and that's like probably the biggest thing. So yeah, that is one thing that, ladies, if you are listening, that's one thing that you can do is at least moderate. So,
Yeah, for sure. And
but
people
congratulations on
will
that.
ask, thank you. People will ask me, like, how'd you do it? And honestly, I
Please, I'm
went cold
listening.
turkey. Honestly, I have a podcast out. It's in a hiatus. I don't do it anymore, but it's on
Uh-huh.
the Everyday Healthy Human podcast, and you type in Jen Rulon, you'll find it.
Okay, I'll find you.
But I don't remember what episode it was, but it was really, I went cold turkey. But
Wow.
I I wasn't liking how I was reacting and responding to my ex-husband and people with the alcohol.
That's a
I
powerful
didn't,
reason.
and
Mm-hmm.
I grew up, my grandpa, from my dad, my grandfather, my great grandmother, like, we're all alcoholics. And so it was just something I started recognizing within myself. I'm like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I don't like that anymore. Another thing that I did is that 6 weeks before my last Ironman in 2019, I knew it was going to be like my last Ironman because I went to an endurance event in Boulder, Colorado. I was listening to Stacy Sims. If y'all don't know
Yeah.
who
Mhm.
Stacy Sims is,
I
yeah,
follow
go
her.
check.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's great.
So she's fantastic. So she talked about it. She was the keynote speaker and she said, ladies, if you are perimenopausal or menopausal, stop doing long, slow distance stuff and start lifting weights. So I heard that knowing I was perimenopausal, even
Mhm.
menopausal, and I was 6 weeks out from Ironman Florida. And in 2019, I had the best race of my life, and I was like, I'm done. But 6 weeks before that race, I stopped drinking alcohol, knowing that it could potentially be my last race. I wanted to see how well I did without drinking
Oh.
alcohol.
And it was your best
So
race.
it was my
I
best race.
believe that. I
Yeah,
100% believe that. Mhm.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then
it's
like, and then
crazy.
like, yeah, and then like the month of November, like I would just went back to drinking and having my glass of wine at night and just like the
Mhm.
habits, right? I just
Right.
started doing the habits. And then I came down to Costa Rica for my first time and I'm in a third world country. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to drink. Like it just like just to be safe, right? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'll just have a cup of coffee or whatever. Anyways, and then I thought, okay, well, I got through the vacation without drinking.
That's huge
So,
right there.
yeah, yeah.
You know, if
Can
you
I
could
get,
get through
yeah,
vacation, you could pretty much do it anytime.
yeah. And so then I thought, can I get through Christmas? Can I get through New Year's? And then
Yeah.
2020 happened. And I thought,
Oh
can I,
man, the pandemic.
can I get through 20? And I got through it. I like, so it will be 5 years. Yeah.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, now I
Thank
have
you.
hope. So you were
You have
like,
hope.
okay, I'm 43.
Yeah. There you go. So I was what? I
You
was 48.
stopped 40, 48? Okay.
I was
Wow.
48 because I'm
I bet you're so
53.
proud
Yeah.
of that. That's great,
I'm so
Jen.
proud. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
And just
And
so you guys know, like I just want to say this, like all this stuff is habits. Alcohol, food, like
yes,
all of this
you're
stuff is the
spot on.
same.
Nailed
It
it
is
and
fixable.
mic drop. I think,
Hmm.
yeah,
And
it
you
is.
know, like it's always going to be up to the client what they want to change. Like I'm a big like proponent for that. But we're just saying there is a lot of things that people can do in order to feel better, to get better results. I think, you
Mhm.
know, that says a lot. I just think that it's always going to be up to you, but there is massive things that you can do and
Yeah.
take charge of your health.
Yep. For sure. For sure. And I think, like you said, it's developing habits. Those habits, and I say this to my clients all the time. It's developing habits. Then those habits become non-negotiables.
Mhm. It
Like,
does.
because when somebody says to me, "Oh, you don't need to work out," I'm like, "Excuse me." Like,
It's better for everyone if I work
it,
out. That's what I tell people.
seriously,
For
Courtney.
me it's a big
Seriously.
stress relief. Like I can't live without it, you know? It
Yeah, I'm the
just
same way. I'm the same
uh-huh.
way. Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
just
I love
just
it.
start telling everyone that.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Very cool.
Awesome, Jen. Well, I really appreciate you being on here. Is there anything else you want to talk about before? Because I do want to make sure everyone knows where they can find you.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about like your coaching or your Instagram handle, but
Sure.
anything else that you want to chat about today?
Hmm. Hmm. I think I was going to say, like, I think Courtney and myself, and I shouldn't be speaking for you, but like, as we are as women, as we are shifting into this second part of our life,
I
don't
love how
look
you
at it.
say next chapter.
Next chapter, I do say next
I
chapter.
like that a lot.
As we are focusing on the next chapter of our life, don't look at, oh God, I'm going through menopause, I'm going through perimenopausal. Like, look at it like this. I feel like these are like the best times of our lives. Like
I agree.
I'm 53. I feel phenomenal. I'm happy as all get out. I have boundaries. I don't give a flying F if somebody doesn't like what I do. Like they can move on. Like this stage of my life, oh my god, it's beautiful compared to my 20s and 30s, you know? Like
Hmm.
so it's almost like don't think about, oh, I'm getting older. Think about I'm getting better.
Ooh, no, that is so true. Like, I feel like I just get better with time, like it just with
100%.
everything, with everything, like how I respond to things, how I don't care what people
Yes.
think anymore. Like back in my 30s, I was always comparing myself
Oh
and
my
like
god, right?
worrying what people thought. And then like when I started my business, oh, what are my friends gonna think? Because no one like supported me. I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Like
Exactly.
things do get better, ladies. It really does.
They do. It does.
Hmm.
It does. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you want to, if you want to learn more about me, you could go to my website, Jen Rulon, JenRulon.com. You could go to my Instagram handle, it's Coach Jen Rulon. And then I'm very active on TikTok as well. I do a lot of TikTok lives at night, or
Ooh.
I'll even take you guys to the beach in Costa Rica in the morning. So,
Oh, I
yeah,
love that. I've been really
yeah.
enjoying watching your content on
Thank,
Instagram.
thank
How
you.
lucky.
Thank
Man,
you.
that's where I need to go. I need to go to Costa Rica.
Oh my God. The summer is fine. Like yesterday was
Oh
like
yeah, the summer's just starting, right?
the summer's just starting, and like yesterday was just
Woohoo,
an
summertime.
absolutely perfect day. Like my boyfriend went and surfed at the beach. I went and watched, had my coffee, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the little waves down the road. So I surfed with my girlfriend. We went and worked out. We had some great food. The sunset last night was like chef's kiss. It was just a perfect day. And it's like, dang it. And then like this morning, I'm like, all right, I got to get to work. I got work mode.
It's hard to stay focused, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. And he saw my face this morning. He's like, you're in work mode. I'm like, yep, I got stuff to do. Yeah. So, but it's good. It's good. We need those days of surf, workout,
Oh,
food, sunset.
absolutely.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. It was
Oh, that's
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one of these days, maybe I'll come visit you.
Please do. Please do.
We had
I would love that.
26 degrees this morning.
Oh, no, thank you.
Our first below freezing morning, yeah, of the year.
I
Well,
don't miss
of
that at all.
this season,
Of
yeah.
2024. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm. Well, stay warm. I'm going to go
All
do
right.
it.
Well,
I'm
thank
go.
you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Well, thanks for having me, Courtney. I appreciate it.
All right. Awesome, Jen. Okay. We will chat with you soon. All right, everyone. Bye for now.